dark side. I wanna know your secrets. I wanna be your lifeline. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait for you, wait for me. Tell me you're more than just a highlight. Pretty pictures on the outside. I hate to stare at you through these lights. So I wait for you, wait for me. Wait.
So we just got done with a big snowstorm. They said we are gonna get, well, they changed it like 4 times, like they always do, leading up to the storm. And you know, it started off as like 7 to 10 inches, then it went to 5 to 7, then it went to 6 to 8, whatever. So anyway, it started hitting yesterday and snowing really light all day long. Really wasn't accumulating to much. And then by about, they said it was going to be over by 8 o'clock. So, and their final tally was 5 to 7. And it was going to be over by 8 o'clock. So I figured, you know what, I'll just go out at 8 o'clock. I'll plow it once, be done with it, and that'll be that. Well, by about 3:30, there was like 5 inches of snow on the ground. And I was like, great. You know, most of my customers wouldn't care. They'd be like, just plow it once and be done. No big deal. Even though my trigger's 3 inches, as you guys know. And so a lot of them, though, or not a lot, but, you know, majority of them, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired, man. I'm tired. But there's a certain amount of them, let's go with that, that would, they'd be calling and complaining when they got home from work and there was 5 to 7 inches in their driveway. So I was like, you know what, I better just go out and start plowing it. So I went out and I plowed the first half. The first half is off in one direction from my house, and then I go back past my house and go do the other half. So what I did was I went out and plowed the first half, and I went back by my house, and my oldest son, my 13-year-old son, wanted to go out plowing with me. So I stopped back at the house, I picked him up. He went and did the whole second half, and then I had a bunch of stragglers, little things I had to do after that. So I dropped him off before I went and did those, because it was already getting to be about 8:30, and I wanted him to go and get to bed for school this morning. So the storm had stopped at like 8 o'clock. I finished plowing about 10:30, and because I had to go back through the list again a second time. It kept dropping. Probably a total of the whole thing 7 to 8 inches. But so I did that, and like I said, the storm really did stop about 8 o'clock, and then by 10 o'clock, 10:30 when I got done, it was clear. It was dark, you know, but it was clear. It wasn't snow, not even a light snow. So I went to bed, and that was supposed to be it. Well, I woke up at 6:30 this morning to another 4 to 5 inches sitting on my truck. Fantastic. So I'm out running around this morning. I went through the whole list again, plowed everything again. Now it's sunny out, and the roads are dry for the most part. I'm going to get my truck washed. I'm going to go and get all the salt sprayed off of it that I drove through all last night and this morning. So anyway, this video is going to pertain to, I've been getting a lot of questions about, you know, I've accumulated a lot of new subscribers lately, and some of them have gone back through old videos, you know, once they found me and started going back through old ones and checking out my old videos, and some haven't. So I've been getting a bunch of questions about why I went solo. Now, a lot of you guys know why I went solo. There were a number of reasons why I went solo. I just had a hell of a time with employees, and I had some great employees and some faithful ones, and you know, I had some where there were just total shitbags, and you know, they'd know that if we busted ass on a Friday, we could get done by like 5 o'clock, 5:30, and they would tell me at 9 o'clock on Friday morning they had to be out by 4. They're going away for the weekend or something. So, you know, just stuff I had to deal with. Some guys 3-4 days a week, they're telling me they got to be out early, or 3-4 times a month telling me they got to be out early because they got traffic court. Like, you know, they just couldn't figure out how to drive a vehicle, and just a bunch of nonsense. And that was the biggest part. That was the biggest thing, was the whole employee factor, and I got sick of it. But one huge thing for me was, as many of you know, I spent 11 years of my life on an armored truck and being a firearms instructor, teaching people how to shoot, doing qualification shooting, stuff like that, with pistol and shotgun. And I did a lot of that, and I worked like 70 hours a week. You know, I traveled. It was just a lot, and you know, I was stressed out all the time, and I'd always wanted to start my own lawn care business. I'd worked for many lawn care companies in the past. I'd still done a little bit on my own here and there, and I just always wanted to do it. So I started my lawn care business, and I worked the first year solo. Toward the end of the first year, I got a helper that helped me out, you know, a couple days a week. But then after that, my second year from then on, you know, I had employees. At one time, I was up to 4 employees, and you know, just cranking out lawns, over 100 lawns a week, doing it in 5 days. You know, and then at one point, I got to 2 trucks, 2 trailers, and multiple mowers and stuff like that. Well, what ended up happening was I was bringing in tons of money. I mean, I was making really, really good money, no doubt about it. But there were certain points where I was making enough money that I never had to worry about putting away a winter fund, you know, because you guys know I don't rely on snow plowing. It's just, you know, if you gamble on snow plowing as part of your yearly income in my area, you're gonna lose big time. Like this year, I've been out maybe 10 times all year, but then there's years where I've been out 30 times, so it's back and forth. Some areas, you know, you guys know you're getting tons and tons of snow, then you can take a gamble on that, but it's just not smart for me. So, you know, I never had to worry about putting money away for a winter fund because it just constantly flowed in. I had this constant influx of money just coming in, and it was great. But the problem is, I found myself doing the one thing that I preach on and on not to do, is to not chase that dollar, because once you start, you'll never stop. And you know, I was stressed all the time. These guys were stressing me out, and were they doing what they were supposed to do at customers' places? Customers calling me when they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. It was just, you know, it was a lot of stress, and it wasn't fun anymore. I was having no fun at all. The work wasn't fun. The whole business end of it wasn't fun. I wasn't even having fun mowing lawns, which is something that I absolutely love to do and have always loved to do. I wasn't having any fun mowing lawns at all. It was more of a chore. I was miserable all the time. I mean, it just sucked. It really sucked, and I hated it. So, these guys are broke down in the middle of the road trying to get around traffic here. It just wasn't fun for me at all. I was getting to the point where I hated the business, and this was my dream. This is all I ever wanted to do, and I absolutely have a strong passion for mowing. I mean, I love to mow. I like to do some landscaping here and there, and I do pressure washing and soft house wash, stuff like that. But, you know, mowing, I absolutely love to mow grass. So, you know, it just wasn't fun for me at all. So I figured, I'm like, you know what, I gotta go back to my roots. I gotta go back to, you know, getting rid of this. So what I did is I gave away a ton of my customers, a ton of them. I got rid of all my employees. I gave away a ton of customers to other companies, and I went back to doing it solo. And now I bill out less every month. This will be my 3rd year back solo, this 2019 season coming up. And I bill out less every month, but I always have more money in the bank. Always. I'm not fixing things or sending guys to fix things that they destroyed on a customer's property, that I have to, you know, replace material-wise, fencing, whatever, things they broke. One guy ran into a Japanese maple I had to replace. That was $400, $425, something like that. You know, the deductible on my insurance is $500, so it was out of pocket. But I'm not paying out for materials and then paying the guys to go and fix this stuff that I'm not being able to bill for. I'm not doing all this maintenance to mowers and paying for all these maintenance costs for things that guys are just breaking that should have never broke. So, like I said, I'm billing out less now, but I always have more money in my accounts, always. And even with buying newer equipment now, things like that. So, and I don't have all the stress that I had before. I only schedule the amount of properties I want to do in a day, and I know what they look like when I leave there, so I don't have to worry about a customer calling me. You know, I never even told my customers I got rid of my employees, and some of them, you know, would see me out there because they're home, but the majority of them aren't home during the day, and they knew. They asked me if I hired new guys, things were different, and I'm like, nope, I got rid of them all. You get me and only me. you know. So for some of you that are contemplating, you know, starting a business, and whether you want employees or staying solo, or whether you already have a business and you're thinking about going back to solo, you know, these are all things you have to take into account for. Is it, you know, it's not just, okay, I'm going to be able to take on more work now. Is it worth taking on that more work? Is it worth what may happen to your reputation? Now, some guys have hired multiple employees and have grown these huge companies and have had great success and they have a great reputation. But those guys are as far and few between as they are the guys that are extremely successful on YouTube. Just being honest with you. I've talked to guys from all different states, all over the country. I've talked to guys in, you know, other countries, Australia, New Zealand, and they all have the same exact issues that we have here in the States, and then the guys have up in Canada that I talk to. And, you know, more often than not, you will hear them say, lawn care is one of the hardest industries in the world to keep employees. Nobody's dream job is to come and weed whack and mow grass for you for far less money than you're making. So, you know, it's just really hard, and there's a lot to take into account. But I see so many new channels all over the place that are going on and on about, man, I got to get new employees this year. We're going to employees. And then I hear what they're saying, and I see what they're doing in their videos, and I'm thinking, they haven't thought this through. They're just thinking of a totally different picture, just like I did. And just like many of us did. They're thinking about, oh, I could take on more work, I could take on bigger jobs, but they're not thinking of all the side effects that come into account with that. And I'm not trying to scare anybody off and tell you don't ever hire employees, because, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. And maybe you got to try to figure out if it's right for you. But I'm just telling those of you that are contemplating it, there's more angles that you have to look at the whole employee spectrum than just, I can take on more work and bigger jobs. It doesn't work like that.
For you, wait for me. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted to you. Click and scroll, I can't let you go. They say I'm addicted to you. Oh, oh, this ain't love, no, no, this ain't love, no, no, this is artificial. This ain't love, no, no, this ain't love, no, no, this is artificial.
I wanna know you inside and out. Wanna know what's being